What's up, Kabroda crew? Welcome back to our live stream where we go over running the battle box in the morning and kind of setting up the day for the trades. So let's kind of jump in, see what we got for yesterday. We had a little bit of breakdown after the live. Continued in pretty much all day into the night. Had a little bit of an up run in the night and then just continued down. So this morning we're actually continuing that pattern so far. Let's see if we break this level here and continue. Get into it. There's some bigger levels out here that we're going to kind of watch for and look for. But yeah, that's essentially what happened yesterday. Just a little bit of a breakdown. Decent trades going on if you were watching. Off of our system, there's a trade here on at 9:45ish on the 5-minute. We'll check it out. It was about 9:45, pretty much exactly. Broke through our breakdown, and then we came up and had a retest here, and then we continued down. Could have gotten our 3-to-1 here. You took it off right here, you'd have gotten a 2.6. And then if you took it off before we broke through, or when we broke through that 21 again, you would have at least made 2-to-1. So not a bad trade, looking pretty nice. System played out. Always gotta watch for those trades as you're going. We're gonna go ahead and start the battle box for today, get it set up, and see what the market's at for today. If you're interested in learning a little bit more about our system or just some TA or just kind of how we're looking for trades or all of that, or why we have all these random lines on our chart, the breakout, breakdown lines, stuff like that, go check out our recap. It's going to come out at 10, so it'll kind of run over yesterday and it'll show you a little bit of a tidbit of kind of like what we were looking for and what was going on. And it also has some great TA in it if you want to learn. Stuart Maker runs those, so he's always a good person to learn some TA from as well. Yeah, we'll jump into it though. Head on over to our battle box and start getting that GPT set up. So this here's our battle box. If you've never seen it before, there's a link in our description if you want to try it out or anything. You could also try to use it along with me if you want to learn how to use it. And we do also have some videos covering that on our channel if you just want to learn how to use the battle box. There are videos there as well. So just click the first preset, make a daily market review. And then this is kind of what we're going to have to get for the daily market review. So you can see we got some quad screenshots, which is basically just we got to get 4 different screenshots, 4 hour, 1 hour, 15, and 5. Then we got some FRVP levels here along with the 30-minute high and low. And then the last thing that we get, and this one is optional, but you can look up cryptocraft.com and that will show you the news for today. So we had some FOMC meetings yesterday, which is another reason that trading was sort of weird and sketchy, I guess, yesterday. Is that FOMC meeting actually happened right after we would have took off that trade. So about right here when we had this massive dump, that was where the FOMC meeting was, which is why it would have been hard to trade that. That's why it would have been that's why we always get out on that 5-minute 21 there, because that told us, hey, get out here. And yes, it did dump way down, but was it supposed to? I don't know. Maybe, but we're always glad to take that 2-to-1 there. Regardless, so we're gonna go and check it out. So I'm gonna open up Google here, and you should be able to use any search engine you want. Okay, maybe I won't open up Google. Here we go. And then I'm gonna type in cryptocraft.com. Just like this, cryptocraft.com. And you're going to go ahead and look for the calendar over here on the left, and you're going to click on today's date, which is the 30th. And these are the news events for today. So you can see yesterday we had a couple of those FOMC meetings. And then today we don't really have much of anything. Some different, I don't even know, different nothings really. Nothing to be worried about. Whenever you got yellow here, that's always something you don't have to worry about. If it's red or orange, that's something we worry about a little bit more. Red being the worst, and orange is kind of in the middle of the two. We're just going to go ahead and take a little screenshot of this table here, and that will be all we'll need for our GPT. So we'll head to GPT again, and we can just paste that screenshot right there. And mine always looks like this, but you can take a screenshot of the whole page if you want to. Alright, so quad screenshots, FRVP, and then 30-minute sessions. So we'll start with those quad screenshots. And we'll go to trading view for this. I'm going to go ahead and take my FRVP levels off here. Back up, there we go. Alright, so now that they're off and you can't see them anymore, our chart looks nice and clean. So we'll just go through and auto all of them. If you don't know how to auto, you can either double click, or you can go down and click on this A here on each of the different indicators and chart. And then we're going to go to 4 hour. If you are interested, I guess, on indicators, we run the MACD, RSI, the Stoches, which are technically called the Stoch RSI, and then we run the chart with some different EMAs on it. Really, we use the 200 and the 21 the most. We also have the 50, 80, and 100 EMAs as well. So if you want to make your chart look just like this, that's what you can do, is just look up those different indicators. We do have videos on our channel covering those as well. Alright, from here, we're just going to go ahead and get some screenshots. So we'll auto it, kind of zoom out a little bit so you can see more of history. And then we're just going to do Windows key Shift and S all at the same time. And that'll give us our screenshot. Just go ahead and take a screenshot here. And we'll go down the line and throw them into our GPT here. So that was 4 hour, do the 1 hour. And we'll 15. And one thing to note too is if you do have the higher end of TradingView and you can put all of these together, you can just go ahead and, do the 5-minute. You can make these into a quad view chart, and even if you don't want to use it all the time, you can just use it for the screenshot only. You can just get a screenshot of it real quick and then move back. Makes it nice. So we got those FRVP data for today. So what we'll do is we're going to go to the 1 hour chart, and to get the FRVP data, we're going to use a tool. It is actually called the FRVP levels, I think. Exchange volume profile. So we're just going to go here to this crosshair on the left, and we're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. Click the over button and go to volume brace, and it'll be right here. So with this tool, once you click on it, the next click is going to be when you start using the tool, just like most of them in the trading view. So we're going to go back to 7 o'clock here on yesterday. So yesterday, I'm too far back. Yesterday was the 29th. So we're going to go to 7 o'clock here on the 29th to 7 o'clock here today. And these are going to be our first levels. So these are going to be our 24-hour FRBP levels. So what we do is we are going to open up our levels here, and I already have them on here. If you don't have them on here, it's just Alt-J, and then you can go ahead and change what you want in the settings to make it look nice and pretty. Go ahead, we do have a video on our channel as well covering how to kind of edit stuff like that. So we got our volume area high, and I'm going to go into my FRBPs and turn off my morning ones just so it looks nice and clean. Oops. Go. So we got our 24 hours and our mornings are off. Just going to go ahead and move all of our lines right on top of the levels here. So red is going to be your volume area high, yellow will be your POC, and blue will be your volume area low. And it looks like we're already out of our range here, so could be a pretty crazy down day actually. We'll see. If you get them though pretty close, so let me see if I can get this. There we go. So you can see that my lines are pretty close. You're never going to get them 100% exact, but honestly, it doesn't matter that much because the whole idea is you're just trying to get them close enough to the lines so we can use them to grab the coordinates and put them into our chat, and also so you have a little visual representation of the lines without always having this thing on your chart, because if you're charting and you have this, it kind of just looks a little ugly. Personally, that's what I think. You could leave this here, I guess, if you wanted to, but it does make it easier to grab the levels for the chat for the GPT. But once you get them nice and close, that's all we really need, because support and resistance, which is what we are drawing here, those are always zones, not just lines. So even if you get them a little bit off, they are going to be close enough that they'll be within the zone of the support or resistance line. So I'm going to go back to here, and what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to type FRBP levels, and then I'm going to go 24-hour volume area high, POC, and volume area low. And this is how I'm going to get them in here. So I can just go ahead and copy and paste from my lines into here. But real quick before I do that, I'm going to do the morning ones as low. That way I have all of them in here, and I'm also going to do the 30-minute candle. And you don't have to set the thing up just like this. I just prefer to do it so I can see. If I do have something like maybe I accidentally pasted the volume area high twice in here, I can just easily see it. If you wanted to, you honestly could just have it like FRBP levels, 24-hour, volume area high, and then like the number, and POC, the number, and volume area low. But like that just starts getting confusing and hard to read. For For the AI, it's not hard, so if you wanted to do that, go ahead. It's fine. But for me, I'd personally prefer to have it nice and clean looking here. So we'll move back here. We're gonna go grab the lines here, go to settings. And in settings, you'll probably come up on this style here. You're just gonna click over to the coordinates tab, and that will give you the coordinates for the line. And if you have lined them up, they should be pretty close to the support resistance that we're talking about. The FRVP uses math to kind of determine where the support and resistances are. So we'll just go ahead and click there, grab the coordinates out of here, and then we can go back to our battle box and paste it in. The easiest way to do this would be to kind of just have them, depending on how many monitors you have, I guess. It'd probably be the easiest way would just be to split screen it and just go ahead and throw them on there. Like grab the line, grab the coordinates, and then go back to your other screen and paste them in there. And if you had them split between the two, you could just easily go back and forth. Or you could, if you have two monitors, you can just throw them one up on the battle box up on one, and then your charts up on the other, and just go back and forth. Quick tip too, if you don't want to click on the line, or if it's harder, because sometimes these lines are kind of hard to actually hit, or if you have like a bunch of lines on your chart, or they're too close or whatever. If you go open up your object tree, which is these little boxes over here on the far right, you can just go down to the line that you have. So you can just go ahead and click on it, and that'll show you it there. So that's the volume low there. And if you just double click, that'll give you the coordinates here for it. And I'm going to rearrange mine so it goes top to bottom. Yeah, you can just go ahead and double click there, and that will open up the settings as well. So it just makes it nice and easy, a little bit easier way to do it. Spirit Maker said the 15 minutes currently sitting in a double bottom on a strong level support 108, 200. Interesting. We'll have to check that out as we start the battle box. Alright, so we'll get those 24-hour levels. We're going to move on to the morning levels. So I'm going to pull off my different 24-hour levels, throw on my morning ones, and then we're going to grab this FRVP levels that we set up earlier for the 24-hour, and we're going to grab the back end of it and drag it from 7 o'clock yesterday to 3 o'clock this morning. And this will be the way that we want to draw the different morning levels. So same thing, volume high is red, POC is yellow or orange, and the volume area low is blue. And you just want to get those close because they are zones, not just levels. And then same thing, we'll just double click, grab the settings out of here. Once you do it once and go to the coordinates tab, it should always just open up in there unless you change it. So unless I like clicked on style and then went into the next one, it's going to be on style again. But if you were on coordinates and close the thing and open up another one, it should be on coordinates again. So you could just easily double click and then copy it right out of there. There we go. So we got all of our 24 hours, all of our mornings on there, and then now we're going to get that 30-minute candle last but not least. So head back here. I am going to delete this lines here, and I'm going to close out my different morning lines, and then we're going to go to that 30-minute chart. On the 30-minute, the easiest way to do this is, so open up your object tree if you haven't already, down on the boxes over here on the far right, and then you're going to go to data window. This will just give you the different levels. Where's my levels? They're there. I don't know why it threw my levels down here this time, but normally they're up here in this one. But today, I guess they are down here. and there's no way to drag them, so I don't know how I moved them, but regardless. There you got your levels down here, so you got your high and low, you can see them right here above where my character is. We got 108,682 is the high for whatever time, but we want to get a specific time, so we're going to go ahead and hover over that 7:30 candle, and this will give us the high and the low for that specific candle. So the high is going to be 109,063. 109,063. Oops. 63. And then we'll grab the low, so same thing, hover over that 7:30 candle, 108,217. Oops. 108,217. Okay, so now we got all of our levels in here, we got all of our screenshots, our news is in here as well, and we could just go ahead and send that in. The last thing you could do that is optional is you can grab the weekly FRVP levels. If you've never done that before and you want to know how to do it, you can just go ahead and ask the battle box how to do it. It will give you enough help to be able to do it. And if you even are confused after it tells you, just go ahead and ask again. A nice thing about AI. Alright. So we got our daily market review here. If you've never seen one before, we got some levels here. Our different charts basically with a little bit of TA, a little summary of the TA on each of them. Then you got your different levels. You got your trade strategy outlook that you possibly could be going for. Some news. So we already have that news. We already looked at it, but if you wanted to kind of go back to it, it will say like this one says high impact. Obviously all of them weren't high impact, so you don't have to worry about it, but just be kind of wary of that because sometimes it has a hard time differentiating between yellow and orange or yellow and red. Execution considerations. So these are some things to kind of watch out for as you're looking to take a trade. And then you got the weekly zone. Right now it kind of just guesses on them. If you don't put them in here, it will try to kind of guess on them based off of the screenshots and stuff. And then you got here just different levels you can go ahead and copy out of here. If you want to know how to use the whole thing more to your liking, you can go ahead and check out our battle box videos. We cover more of that specifically, but we're just going to run through the TA, kind of look at the trade strategy a little bit, and then make what we call a battle plan, which is kind of just a little bit of strategy I guess you could employ for the day. Not financial advice by any means, but we kind of run through what we're kind of looking at for the day, what possible trades could happen throughout the day, stuff like that. So we're going to start with that 4 hour. So I'm going to go back to trading view here. We're going to move on to the 4 hour, and I'm going to read you what the battle box says, and then we'll kind of run down what we're looking at. Also, I'm going to throw on our different lines here so we can kind of see what's going on. All right, so for the 4 hour, the battle box says structure rolled over from 111 zone, 111K zone, rejecting 200 SMA, the yellow line. Price is now under all major EMAs, confirming a medium-term downswing momentum. The momentum, well, that's interesting. The MACD is negative, RSI is near 40, and stochastics are resetting low bias. So the resetting low, the bias is bearish, at least for the 4 hour, and according to the battle box. So looking at this, we did break all of our resistance, basically all of our support we broke, and now it is resistance above us. We are sitting below all resistance that we have drawn on the chart currently. All of our battle box levels are actually already broken, which is pretty crazy. This doesn't typically happen for the day. We did try to get a little breakup yesterday, ended up breaking down. I believe that was yesterday. No, that was Monday. Wow. Okay. Yeah, we got a breakup Monday, and then we tried to stay above it and couldn't. It's Tuesday we broke down, and then Wednesday we kind of went more or down / sideways, and then today we're sitting below our things here. Spirit Maker says we're under the 21 200 on all timelines up to the daily, bearish until 15 flips the 109 875. So let's check that out. MACD is bearish here. You got RSI actually nearing the oversold range, so we might see a flip here in the RSI, but we still got some room to run before we see that. You're looking for that yellow to kind of start curling and slowly turning to the upside, similar to this but in reverse. So you can see it kind of came up and then slowly curled and then came down. We want to see that on the downside if we're going to start having the up run. Stoches are low, but that doesn't matter because this is a longer time frame. Stoches are more of a short time frame type indicator. So you can see we're down here below the oversold range, but again, it's stoches, so not really something I'm concerned about. Alright, moving on, we're hitting to that 1 hour. 1 hour we also are below that 21 we broke down Wednesday or yesterday. We kind of broke down here, and then today we retested this morning at about 2, and we continued to break down since then. We tried to regain that 21 there too, couldn't. So pretty bearish looking if you ask me. As for what the battle box says, we confirmed continuation lower with lower highs and lower lows beneath 21 in the SMA. MACD histogram is negative and RSI is mid-30s. Trend aligning is bearish. So we just got that MACD flip here on the bearish side, so we're looking for more of a down run here. Typically you see about 8 bars on here, not always. As you can see, lately we haven't gotten that. 1 2 3 4, so 6 bars there, yeah, 8 bars. So typically you see a little bit longer, but we're kind of in more of a we're kind of just like flipping back and forth, which is typically what you see before a decent explosion in one of the two ways. Not saying that that's what we're gonna do right now, just that's typically what you see. MACD here, or RSI here, is actually looking more bullish than bearish. We're low on the RSI in more of that oversold range. Not completely oversold, which is kind of below this purple here, but we came down into that oversold and we kind of curled up to the upside. Now we're kind of running flat, so possible we could see it either way really. The fast moving average is actually below the yellow, which is the slower moving average, and that typically kind of determines which way you're gonna go, but not always. So we'll see which way we flip to, which way we continue. Stoches are showing a down run. Again, 1 hour not super applicable because the R for the lower time frames 15 and 5. So not something to totally worry about, not something to bank anything on, but it is there, so something to, I guess, find interesting. Moving on to the 15, same thing, we're below that 221 and 200 as Spirit Makers pointed out. We are below pretty much all of them up to the daily. The battle box says price is below the SMAs, forming descending channel. Stoches just curled up from oversold with no confirmation yet. Short-term trend bearish with early bounce risk. Alright, so that would be interesting if we did get that bounce here. We are making a double bottom as Spirit Maker pointed out. So you can see we got this bottom here and the bottom here, and if you look at both of them, they are pretty much on the same line here. at that 108,200 level. So kind of another resistance line here. I'm just going to throw that there so we can kind of see it from any chart, see where we're at. We're looking to break this if we're going to continue on the bear side. If we actually bounce here, that could be more of a bullish sign that we're going to have a little bit of a bull run here to the upside. Could also be a pullback before we continue down, but more than likely, whenever you see a double bottom form like this, you see a little bit of an up run, or a pretty decent up run. Same thing if you see that double top, which we had a couple days, yeah, right here. So you can see the double top here, the 1, 2, and then we had a nice little down run here. Typically when you see double bottom, it's kind of the opposite. We'll see if this actually makes a double bottom, because double bottoms, it's like any pattern, you can't 100% tell that it is that until it actually fires. So we're kind of waiting for either that bounce here or the breakdown here to kind of determine if it's a real pattern or not. RSI wise, or MACD wise, I guess, we are flipping here, so you can see we lost some of that momentum here. The histogram turned pink, which means we're losing some momentum. MACD is starting to flip over, which is a good sign for the bulls. Still not 100% bullish yet, but it is a good sign. RSI is still technically going to the downside. We are seeing a little bit of a flattening. You can see the fast moving average is kind of flattening here. So possibly curling here. We'll see. There's still room for that to break to the downside though, and it is still technically bearish until we see that turn there. Stoches are at the bottom though, however, and they are looking for the upside, so that is more of a bullish thing there. And we are on the 15, so stoches do count now. Something to watch now. But overall, it's kind of neutral. I would say neutral to bearish, but it matters a lot if we break this line or not. So we'll see there. We're going to move on to that 5. Last chart before we kind of check out the trades for today. So for the 5 minute, we got the battle box says we have micro relief bounce active after the extended drop here. Price is still below the 21 SMA here. Stoches are rising from oversold. The execution bias is wait for a pullback failure near 108.9 to 109K. So 108.9 would be this pullback here to the voluntary low, which would actually kind of set us up for that trade. Honestly, though, if it did that, I would be a little bit nervous that we're going to get that bounce here and see that double bottom actually play out. But just for right now, we're kind of setting up for that down run here, waiting for that break here of the bottom. Spirit Maker says, Spirit Maker, you said bearish until, okay, yeah, never mind. So bearish until we break that 109.8 level, which would be almost POC, basically. So if we can get up there, then we'll see the flip. If you look down at the indicators, so the MACD is actually showing that we flip here. We actually just got a green flip on the histogram, so it is looking a little bullish. RSI is the same way. We've seen that curl here. The faster moving average is actually above the yellow slower moving average, so we're looking more to the upside. You can see that curl here on the RSI as well. And stoches are pretty much topped out, so that's actually kind of sketchy. Not that they couldn't sit up here. Stoches can, as you can see, look back here, they can just kind of sit here at the top for a while. But when you start to get into that overbought or oversold down here range, you're looking for a flip typically to the other side. So we are looking more to the upside, but will that upside last? We'll see. It really matters if we get that break below. And more than likely, we're looking for that 15-minute close below here, because that'll show us more that we're actually going to run. And honestly, the confirmation close would be best way down here below the wicks. But we'll leave our mark there for now. Alright, we're going to go ahead and check out our battle box, battle plan. So after we get through our recap here, we're just going to go ahead and type in, let's make battle plan. "15-minute pullback," huh? What 15-minute pullback, Spirit Maker? Alright, so for the battle plan, you can see we got some different levels here. Tells you where the levels are at, why they're significant. No-go, no-go checklist. So different things to watch out for when if you're looking for shorts. This kind of things to watch out for. If you're looking for longs, this kind of things. Looks like it wants to pull back. Yeah, I agree. But I don't know, if we get that break of that line, I could see it continuing down as well. So will we get the pullback, or are we just gonna like continue down? Yeah, I think the 5 wants that pullback for sure, and 15 definitely, yeah, wants that pullback too. But are we gonna negate this double bottom and then pull back? Or are we just gonna pull back, kind of form that double bottom, and then break it? We'll see. I don't know. Anyways, so go no-go checklist. I can see those, and then you got the execution filters, so different things you can enter with, targets, timelines. So honestly, you don't have to worry about that today. That's just if there's news events, things to kind of watch out for as you're trying to take some trades. Caution, special notes, and then the EM levels that we saw before. One thing too, if you don't really get any of this, you can actually ask for a teachable battle plan, or a teaching battle plan. It even tells you after, so right here, teaching edition battle plan. If you ask for that, it'll kind of break it down for you and help you out. See, it'll break down like what each of these means a little bit more, kind of run you through all of them, why and how we're taking these trades. Wow, we actually just got a break of that line. Decent. We broke our bottom here, so we got to see if we can get a close below. Goes below here, and then maybe a little bit of a retest. It's testing key levels right now. Weekly volume area low is at 107.875 on the 15-minute chart. 107.875, huh? What? Oh, that? Okay, that makes sense. $108. So that's our weekly volume area low. Maybe we'll add a little note on there. Right there. Weekly volume area low is at 107.879 if you're interested. But we're going to go back to that battle box. We're just kind of watching to see if this is actually going to break out or not. kind of tell us what we're going to do for today. All right, so we're just going to jump to the execute. Honestly, this is basically just going to tell you take the short. We already broke down below the breakdown here, so excuse me, we already kind of confirmed we're looking for a possible retest here on the 15. I'm just going to kind of tell you, I'm just going to kind of tell you what I would be thinking about looking at. So we already got our breakdown here. We possibly could continue back up to the volume area low. So that would be kind of the farthest pullback that we'd be looking for. So if we're looking to take it short, honestly, that's probably the farthest I would be looking, is that right there, that volume area low. We could just return to here though. So we could be looking something more like this, and then see that breakdown here. So it kind of just depends on where you want to take a trade. But we did get a breakdown here. We kind of formed a little small overflag, and then we broke down out of that. I don't know what these flags are called, but there's a flag here, like this. And the pull for that would be all the way down to 106, 500 area. Some targets for the shorts are 104 is the macro target, 107, 107. And we were talking about, we were talking about earlier, that we were looking for that 98K almost if we do get a break of these bigger levels. We're still looking for our under 100K level of breakdown. So we could see a possible breakdown like way down there. Will that happen today? More than likely, probably not, but we could see that continuation and into the rest of this week or so, down below in that 100K. We got to see if we break these levels first, though. If we can continue here, it'll kind of set us up for that breakdown. 2 closes on the 15 below, and then we can look for that 5-minute entry up. So we got the first close coming in 2 minutes, and then we'll be looking for that second one with that 5-minute entry, and that'll kind of be our ticket into this trade here. Honestly, that's what I'm looking for, is this trade here. Come up and retest this level here where we were about to form that double bottom, which would kind of be a pattern retest as well. So I drew that pattern here. Say that's our bottom here, and then this is our top. If we came up and retested that there, that'll be our retest of the bottom of the pattern. So that's kind of what we're looking at for today. I don't know what I just did that line. Oh, that's cool. All right, now you can do that. Does that hide them? I just delete some. That's interesting. So if you just want to delete your line fast, you just click your scroll wheel on the line and it will delete. It's interesting. You do that with everything, actually. Things you learn. Excuse me, sorry. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking for. That's what we're looking at. Get my trade back on here. Again, we're not here for financial advice, just here for educational purposes only. But that's kind of our thing we're looking at. So if you want to look for a trade today, that's kind of what you want to look for. Other than that, hopefully y'all have a good day. Happy trading to y'all, and best of luck. And we will catch y'all next Tuesday for our live. We will also have a recap coming out today for yesterday, and then there'll be one for today coming out tomorrow at 10, and then also that one for Friday. But check all of those out. Always great TA in those, and always nice to kind of have a little bit of a refresher on what happened yesterday and just kind of see what somebody was thinking, what a good trader was thinking about their about the TA as we went through the day. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all then.